What you got, Bill?
Yeah, that was a great group. Hey, what's the conversation like between Rodgers and Wilson on the sideline after that? Over talking to Rodgers, seeing what went wrong on that play.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it looked pretty clear to me. I mean, Aaron, anytime the two outside receivers get the signal and number 3 doesn't get it inside, that seems like maybe he didn't know the signal in the first place. I think he might have seen it that you practice all week. And Mason, a credit to him for being ready, doing his job, knowing the playbook.
Oh, look at use check going deep. Where'd he come from, Pate? Out of the backfield? They're running Bob, fullback on backer.
Fake blocks, see? He fake blocks, and it's kind of a deep hook with a rail route down the sideline. That corner is tied up with the deep hook. He doesn't fall off to the deep rail route.
Pretty good.
That's pretty good. There's not many teams that have that play even in their offense. Wow. Cluster split, tight split. Look at number 30. Different ways to play it. When you lock it like that, number 3, the third guy inside, just a straight. The point man just runs a straight vertical, breaks out, tight splits.
Really good route by Ook. Straight. Watch him kind of get vertical. Now straighten him a little bit, and that good stick, right? He gets that stick right at the top.
It's 1st and 10. Mason at his side. Williams the block, and Purdy to the air, and he's got the open tight end. That's Kittle, knocked away by Ivan Pace, and out of bounds he goes. The catch and run will take him upfield to the 45 and a gain of 25. A couple receptions on this drive of 11 and 13 yards. 4th down, Purdy to the air. Underneath he goes. Caught! Crab, Jennings again. Brought down by Bynum. By Jawan Jennings.
They're in man coverage with a safety deep in the middle. Jennings just running across the field. You cannot throw that ball any more accurately than Brock Purdy did right there. It's good coverage with a safety over the top. Trail technique, arm gets in there, but the ball is just placed perfectly, and Jennings.
Resume early so far for the Niners. 2nd down and 10. And what a catch made. Deebo Samuel, my goodness, terrific catch.
Well, Purdy sees the drop in the middle of the field. He knows he has to put it high enough to get it over that underneath coverage. Incredible catch by Deebo Samuel. Getting up, catching it with his hands, actually catching it twice. It took him.
Mason is averaging about 5 yards a carry. 1st and 10. Blocked by Banks. Time for Purdy. Great catch, Samuel. Another leaper. And he's tackled by Pace.
Said this throughout the game. You give him time to throw. He's able to work through progressions. He goes to his 3rd progression in the middle of the field, understanding that Cashman's there once again. He has to put the ball up high. Deebo blitzed a lot more today than they did a week ago against the Giants.
2nd down, 17. They're putting a couple guys on Williams. The pass right there. Brandon Ayuk, for the first time today, comes up with the reception. Cashman is there. The long contract, 4 years, 120. That's million, but he comes up with the play right here, covered by Gilmore.
Well, and that's his zone coverage. Harrison Smith, who we saw at the beginning of that play, was up near the line of scrimmage at the ball.
So in other words, he never fumbles, but he did right there going in. 1st and 10, Purdy with velocity downfield and caught by the triple team Samuel. Murphy's a former 2nd-round pick by Arizona. 2nd down 10, Purdy again. Look at the blocking by both Banks and Williams, and the footwork of Purdy, and finding Samuel. Pushed out of bounds, sitting there with a pinpoint pass, and Purdy kept it alive.
So his toe's in, his heel comes down. It's just whether or not.
Close, and we'll step aside. No huddle. 1st and 10. Purdy. And to the near side, that's caught. That's grabbed there by Deebo Samuel, grabbed by Metellus. in a swarm of defenders. A first down to the 39 of Minnesota.
Now the rookie is Isaac Guerrero, who had 1 carry last week, the first of his career. A fake toss. Purdy looking. Wide open man. It's Jauan Jennings. It's a San Francisco touchdown.
Watch Brock Purdy right here. He wants to throw this ball to Ayuk. They fake the toss and his eyes are left all the way. But look who he has right here, Jauan Jennings. He keeps the safety away from it, and there goes Jennings.
They'll go play action right down the seam for Jennings again. Looking for another big play, and he's taken down in Rams territory. That ball got knocked out, but he's down by contact as Cameron Curl chopped him down.
Well, look at Jennings. He's just going to sneak behind this second level and get on the safeties fast. You see him get by Quentin Lake, number 37, and up on Cameron Curl too fast for him to react. And it's that low pad level of the offensive.
Preseason holdout signed a 3-year, $82 million deal before the season began. Purdy on first and long, and he gets all that yardage back, and he connects with that tight end, Eric Saubert.
But watch him on the corner route. Just a quick release, finds the void in the defense. But I like this Saubert kid. He's been around quite a bit. He's a valuable component in this run game. He's got to help fill the void of Kittle.
Purdy stepping up, pressure coming. Purdy throws on the move to the end zone. It's a touchdown. An official's hat is off, which may indicate that the receiver stepped out before coming back in and reestablishing.
Watch these two receivers. They're running out routes. They're going to show inside moves.
5 in the pattern. Purdy stepping up, launching it. Jennings again! A 3-touchdown performance! The day of his NFL life! Purdy to Jennings. It's happened 3 times today. Fake it to Mason. Purdy, the shuffle, the throw, Jennings up top. Oh my goodness! No, did he just make that catch? And then he gives the Sinat celebration. Over the top of Quentin Lake with some Randy Moss activity.
Are you kidding me? That's such a good play by Quentin Lake, just getting back into position. He was completely turned around, turned his head at the last second, and Jauan Jennings goes over the top and makes a huge contested catch. Now the Rams showing that overload front to the side here. Watch the line games.
Purdy under pressure. Got away from Verse, trying to dive ahead, looking for the first down, and they will give it to him, seemingly.
Well, watch, they're going to show pressure and then bounce out of it. And watch, Brock Purdy has the edge, but they got too many players too close. Nobody has contain out there, and Brock, what an effort with the reads. Look at that. Are you kidding me?
With the former Niner backup, Sam Darnold, throwing for 4 touchdowns today. Purdy for Jennings. Who did you just talk about? That is the 9th catch of the day for Jauan Jennings.
Force this Rams defense to show up in the interior, but what do? Show the run, bring that front 7 up.
On 2nd and 3, it's a play action pass. Sets up, throws to a wide open Brandon Ayuk. Ayuk across the 35.
So hard to evaluate receivers because everything's just about production, but he's been playing well. Jauan Jennings, 15 on the backside, just running a big post. And then Brandon Ayuk, he's got the deep over. You could tell Brock Purdy was going there from the jump. Great play call design.
Over Ayuk. Purdy again gets out of the pocket. Turns the shoulders, lets it rip inside the 10, and it's 1st and goal. George Kittle's first catch.
And then everybody else, they play man. He's working against number 21, Jalen Hawkins. And now it just turns into scramble drill. Again, you have to keep the quarterback in the pocket, especially if you're playing man coverage. You cannot ask your secondary to match up and cover that many different moves.
This was the recipe for years under Belichick. Not giving up those deep pass plays, keeping things in front of you. Looking for a big one here, and they've got it to Jennings. Jauan Jennings after his monster day in L.A. 75 and 3 scores.
Just a great field. This is just Tampa 2. They drop 8 players. They only rush 3. Nice job there by Jennings getting on the backside of the Mike linebacker. It's really good anticipation by Purdy. Understanding when they're only rushing 3 and outside the pocket than anybody outside of Josh Allen.
And then he fits it into tighter windows than just about anybody in the NFL as well. Pressure coming on 3rd and 10. Picked up enough to give him time to find George Kittle. Oh, amongst so many bodies, he ripped it away. Touchdown, San Francisco. George Kittle just wanted it more.
I mean, they got 3 Patriots defenders surrounding them, and that's just going up to the highest point and just competing for the ball. Clearly controls it the entire way down. That's a big-time throw. It's one of the best players in the league in his position, and tell you what, they overcame 2 touchdowns called back. 3rd one's going to stand.
Yeah, Brock's like, geez, I got 3 touchdown passes on this drive. It's the best drive of my life.
His fantasy owners are like, God, if they only all counted.
Yeah. Javon Hargrave missing his first game, and Talanoa Hufanga's out today as well. So more on the shoulders of the offense, and Brock Purdy, who's looking long. He wants Deebo Samuel, and he's got him in stride. Inside the 20 on a gain of 55.
Is nowhere to be found. You can see he's got outside leverage against Jonathan Jones. He just runs up on his feet and just runs right by him. I mean, there was really no scheme. There was nobody on the other side. It was just, all right, Deebo, line up against number 31 and just run. And that ball came out of his hand fast, on time.
Drive begins from the 30, and Purdy will look to throw it. Going long, there is Jennings. Oh, he's got it! Perfect throw, and then Jennings reaches out to pull it in for 46.
I mean, Jennings he's just absolutely on fire right now the last couple weeks. You can't throw that ball any better. I'm not sure Jones could defend it any better. That's just a ridiculous throw and an unbelievable catch over the top of his head. If he doesn't trip over Jones, he probably scores. I mean, look at that coverage. Then Jones goes to the ground, and it's the only thing that prevented that from being a touchdown.
Ronnie Bell in the game at wide receiver, so no Jauan Jennings just yet. It's Purdy to throw again. Taps throwing deep, has a man far side. It is caught out there. And a nice catch it is by Ayuk.
Oh!
Good to see him still in bounds.
Oh!
Brandon Ayuk still going all the way down around the 15.
Some time in the pocket. They've tried it downfield a few times now. Play action pass, clean pocket, and Ayuk threatens them deep on Starling Thomas. Just a nice comeback, an A-plus throw. And Ayuk with that twitch. I just love that. Catch that ball and make him get you on the ground. And Ayuk says, not today. You're going to have to be better than that. And love this from Kittle.
Purdy.
Oh.
Looking over the middle, high. Oh, what a catch! Brandon Ayuk, go get it. It's a first down.
You got Ayuk going on Clark, and he just runs an in-cut. Clark's running for the undercut, but Purdy with the anticipation, standing in the pocket, taking a hit, and throwing it to Ayuk. Does it in the run game, too. You're going to see him involved in so many blocks. Just a terrific player.
Play clock was winding down. Good throw down to the 5. Ayuk again, and it's a 1st and goal. He's having a half. By far the best of the year for him.
Loving what I'm seeing from Purdy with this anticipation of throws over the middle. They throw so many of their route combinations to the middle part of that field, and one of the elite traits that Purdy has is anticipation. And that's what you need throwing into those tight windows. there's no stopping. It's tough for that defense to get up there and stop that.
4 catches, 90 yards for Ayuk. This time Purdy over the middle. Caught for the touchdown. It's George Kittle.
Talked about Ayuk. We talked about Jennings. We talked about Samuel. And now we can talk about George Kittle in the red area. You got Wilson just opening his hips. It's really fun to watch.
3rd and 12 here. Purdy has time. Lets it float up there for a first down. It's Ayuk again. He's over 100 yards in this first half.
He's fired up, and it's nice to see Ayuk come out of this game and just show that elite route running ability that he has, and ends up being man coverage on Murphy Bunting. But again, another great anticipatory throw by Brock Purdy. And beat.
Here is Purdy. Steps up, a lot of room to run. Will do so, and he's got a first down, slides down casually inside the 30. Garendo in the game at back. They fake it to him. Purdy, he's got a lifetime to throw it. Lets it rip. Ayuk has got it in stride. Down to the 20, and a perfect throw from Brock Purdy.
Great route and man-to-man coverage, and when you stem inside and then lean on Murphy Bunting, that's where you get the separation. And Purdy sees it when he gets that man-to-man coverage. Some of the best places to throw are going across the field, but when you lean on that body like Murphy Bunting, you straighten him up, then you hit your right foot in the ground. That's where the separation comes from.
A presence at that spot.
Every football fan knows, last guy picked in the draft, dancing around, trying to pick up that first down, and does.
That's the aspect of his game that I feel like this year, we saw it a lot in college at Iowa State where he's a 4-year starter, but I think more and more you're starting to see what he can do. The defense is concerned about him being the distributor, especially on 3rd down, but his athletic ability and his strength in his lower body allows him to run through some of those arm tackles.
Can't think of anybody who loves to play the game more than Kittle. Purdy escaping again, backing away, throwing, caught. A 1st and goal on a drive that started back at their own 3.
What a job here of working with the quarterback. You know, with Purdy and his ability to take off, look how you work back to the middle. Jennings there looking around, head on a swivel, trying to find the linebackers and safeties. Just kind of sit in that soft spot where Purdy can find him. He's about to give up on the play and then finds 15, utilizing the tools that they taught him, but giving it his own personality.
Purdy dancing, wide open, making the grab. Samuel, the tackle is missed. Debo off to the end zone. Touchdown 49ers. 76 yards.
Great job here to utilizing both these receivers. Ayuk on the outside takes the corner with him. Safety gets overlaid, takes a chance right there by trying to almost missed him when he was trying to go either for the football or trying to hit Debo Samuel, but that is a tough thing to do in open space. But the design of that play, a few more carries tonight running back there.
I would bet on it. Fake to Garendo. Fired over the middle. Out to almost midfield goes Brandon Ayuk, who makes his first grab of the night.
Talk about the linebackers when you run the football. You get that run game going, you got to respect it and get downhill, and now look at that throwing lane right over top of Dodson. We just talked about the challenge on the eyes, and look at the rhythm there of Purdy off that play action. Hitch, ball out, perfectly thrown.
Purdy, deep drop, sideline open, Kittle down the sideline. He goes bouncing off the Seahawks, and another big play, and inside Seahawk territory, the ball at the 29-yard line.
Just a little hesitation. Corner clears out with Samuel, and nobody picks up the big fella, 85, who just kind of sneaks out down that left sideline. Purdy looks off to safety, nobody out in that left flat.
Purdy throws, and right at the pylon, ruled a touchdown. Kittle makes the catch. Right at the pylon, big spike. And this time the 49ers pay off a long drive.
Create that confusion with that bunch with 3 receivers. What a throw, and how about Kittle? The athletic ability to get both his feet down. Just completely perfect execution. Throw, catch, and the feet for the touchdown in that red zone.
Fires, caught. That's Ayuk to the 41-yard line.
Safeties like this, there's the opening for the San Francisco offense. That's where they're looking to try to attack. That ball is anticipated. It's out early. He throws Ayuk right into that hole. And again, the timing and the rhythm there. Ball.
Purdy, shoulder shake, throws into traffic. Kittle, touchdown, his second.
They get both of the backs, the fullback and the running back, clear out. It takes two defenders with them, and now it's just one-on-one in the middle. Great job. That's a matchup.
Isaac Guerendo comes in the backfield for the first time, giving Mason a spell. Ready to throw. Lets one go. Kittle makes the catch, and George Kittle's got a first down.
Offense, very similar to the one we saw with Noah Gray. It's a too-high defense, just bends it in the middle of the field. And again, when you're giving Kittle that much space in the middle, Purdy feels it as well. And they end up doing a great job. And just a double team on Jones here. Brendel Pooney.
1:24 in the half. Purdy in trouble. Steps away. Lets it fly. Has Kittle. He's got it. A bomb to George Kittle.
They get some separation, line him off the line of scrimmage, 5 yards in the backfield, and he runs straight by Reed.
Purdy on the sneak, and he's in. Touchdown, San Francisco.
Look at both guards are pulling. And it leaves Purdy one-on-one. That's what
just letting the sun beat down.
His pair of Oakleys he's usually got on down there. I see him wearing into the stadium. You should have him on the sideline.
Purdy, another blitz, stands in.
Oh.
He's got a man. It is caught. Jacob Cowing down to the 10.
Johnson out here again. Hasn't been in. Double move. Get the ball to Cowing, and he runs right by him. Great play by Purdy. Slightly underthrown, but I'll take that. It's a very good throw in that situation when you have him open. You need that momentum. Cowing letting that ball get into his body, and huge play by the
Purdy on the keeper. Up, and looks like he's in. He is. Touchdown.
So young receivers have a big learning curve with this Niners offense. 3rd and 6, and Purdy throwing to Debo, brings it in across midfield, stays on his feet. Samuel to the 37-yard line.
So they're going to try and make it look like a blitz. But as they go out on the route, now that linebacker has to trail all the way down the line of scrimmage, and he simply got rubbed off just a little bit. A lot to expect from Eric Kendricks, the middle linebacker, against Debo.
Kendricks back in the lineup. Has not played the offensive player of the year. So much missing from this offense. Isaac Guerendo's in for the moment as the roll and throw by Purdy is caught right around the 30-yard line. 3 timeouts, 54 seconds left for their own 17. Purdy pulls it down, takes off, some space to run, looking sideline, gets there. First down Purdy at the 29-yard line and preserves the 3rd timeout. If replay assist is going to say his knee is down inbounds, if it is, and it is, that should have been a clock that would continue to wind to the last. Guerendo in motion, the blitz comes, Purdy gets it up. It's a touchdown for Kittle, however, the contact brings the flag. Big second half for George Kittle. The long catch to set up the go-ahead score and a touchdown of his own on tight end. In some ways he has to. The cast around him has changed. Ricky Pearsall back in the game, and there he is running on cue and diving forward to the 45 for a first down and a pickup of 16 on the ground.
KJ Henry out here, I think it's on this side, is going to pick this pass off. And somehow Purdy saw it, pulled it down, and took what could have been a disastrous play and made it into another first down.
He is the leading rusher.
What's up?
Play action for the 45. Purdy looking downfield for Kittle. Kittle, milestone catch inside the 30 to the 28. His 500th catch as a San Francisco 49er.
Watch how sharply he makes this cut and accelerates out of it. That's why he's not a common tight end. He is a wide receiver, big enough to block, but also get open on routes like this. Watch him lean into this cut, go so sharply that he went across the back.
They can't rally here. 3rd and goal. Purdy trying to sneak it inside. In for the touchdown. Check it in replay. Elbow down. That ball is right at the front of the plane. This is going to be an interesting one.
They even saw glimpses of Dre Greenlaw sprinting around this week, which was very exciting.
Yeah, started to feel like pieces coming together. Here's Purdy looking to rip it. Oh, good catch and throws. Pearsall. Ricky Pearsall trying to beat his man in the end zone. And he is in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Ricky Pearsall's first NFL score.
Starts with protection. You got Brendel in the middle. You got Pooney passing off the twist. Next thing you know, Pearsall's into the defense. Saubert's clearing it out. And Purdy's so good over the middle. One of the elite strengths that he has is anticipation over the middle of the field. The Niners have an inside pass. There they are right here, both on the same side of the field.
3rd and 3, it's a blitz. Purdy back, thrown open. Man, it's Jennings in stride, trying to break a tackle. He doesn't, but he's down to the 11.
It's a simple 3-level route. You send McCaffrey to the flat. Jennings, McCollum actually makes a nice play, seeing it with vision. And Purdy with enough pace on that ball. Jennings actually, that catch is tough.
1st and 10. Purdy. Backpedal, throws, has McCaffrey, throws it beautifully, makes the catch. Oh, what a job by McCaffrey playing center field. That was awesome. And he picked up 30.
Here's McCaffrey coming out of the backfield. He's got Levante David on the little stutter step, and you just can't stay with him. These linebackers are so used to defending 5-7-yard routes. They're not used to defending those. And he stands in the pocket. Golston coming free. Poor pass protection. Good defense.
Purdy all day. Can't find anyone. Sets his feet, throwing end zone for Kittle. Oh, did he come down? He did! Touchdown! Was he inbounds? Oh, he sure is.
So good. On so many levels. Brock is doing a great job extending those plays. And Kittle just working them. Get to the back of the end zone. Use the body. And then what a throw by Purdy. Extending the play. Working the pocket. Giving his guys a chance to uncover.
There's Purdy. Straight drop back. And little jump throw and a catch by Samuel, spinning around, breaking tackles. Deebo Samuel down to the 30.
Under chaos, dealt with a lot of adversity this year, missing Ayuk, a lot of holdouts through camp, and then standing in the pocket. This is when you need calm under chaos, when things haven't gone your way, when you're sitting at 4-4, trying to figure out your...
First down of the day for the Niners, and now play action. Over the middle, Jauan Jennings, first down into Seahawks territory.
Stay both between 11 personnel with 3 wide receivers, and then also go to more of their big personnel with 2 wide receivers. The ascension of Jauan Jennings. And when you ask Kyle Shanahan, he goes, I'm not surprised. He goes, I knew he could do this. He just happened to be playing behind really good players with Brandon Ayuk, and right before the play, they're going to run him off the field.
Bringing an extra man out of the secondary here, and Purdy runs away from it. One-on-one to the pylon, a dive! monster that time. Just a touchdown for Brock Purdy.
So they have a great defense called. Mike McDonald dials up. They get double team on Christian McCaffrey, and he brings Witherspoon off the slot. But Hall, he needs to set the edge of the pocket. Anytime pressure comes away, you know where the escape hatch of the quarterback is. Derek Hall, number 58, he's got to set that pocket and not let Brock Purdy escape.
Have some belief coming out of the way they played. On 3rd and long, Purdy steps up. Purdy again trying to extend with his legs. He'll use the pump fake to get a first down. He got Job off his feet and then turned the corner.
He does a nice job setting the edge. Purdy tried to escape to the right, and he couldn't. But now Job, you've got to keep your feet on the ground. You never elevate. No, it's actually Okada. You never, number 39, you never elevate. You can put your hands up on the pump fake.
All right, so it's 3rd and long again. This has been where Juwan Jennings has lived today.
They got nobody here at the top of the screen.
Looking in his direction, Jennings again fighting for the sticks, breaking tackles, and getting a first down. What fight from Juwan Jennings.
Getting lined up. You can see the back safeties. There was nobody out on the widest defender. It's one-on-one man coverage in the slot. At the point of contact, when Job hits him, he's about 4 yards short of that first down. But how many times have we said today, Joe, just he's physical, he's big. It doesn't always look perfect.
The system itself, almost like New England back in the day.
Oh, it's a great point. The Patriots players, you say, who are those guys? And they show up, and they're pretty good. Purdy, good completion to Juwan Jennings. That was a good, strong throw. Out of bounds at the 37-yard line.
Yeah, and again, this is who can stand up. This is defensively, you're just trying to not fall down and give up a big play. And that time, Douglas on the outside, able to stay on his feet, but not make that play. You might be coming in and you might see something like this and want to begin to formulate a strategy.
4th down, Purdy throws complete for the first down and more. Juwan Jennings to the 16-yard line.
It's going to be simple throws, simple passes, turn around and stop against the zone, and then it's going to be the run after the catch that's going to make the difference for this football team. Now, obviously, pretty tough to make this comeback right.
Here they go, following the timeout. Purdy looking end zone, he throws, touchdown! Juwan Jennings. 70 yards of that drive through the air. Purdy, Jennings, 7-0 San Fran.
So you're seeing a different offense today, much more energized, getting the ball out faster.
Following the 58-yard punt, they start from the 13-yard line as Samuel comes back to make the catch for a San Francisco first down.
Deebo Samuel, he's going to go over the defense across the field, but watch him now track back to the football. Working against Jalen Johnson, their best corner. Brock Purdy throws that where only Deebo Samuel could adjust to it. He makes the play and gets the first down for the 49ers. As good as Buffalo, if not better, and they whooped us 38-10. So he has this offense ready for these Bears.
Start from the 36, pump fake, and then Purdy throws wide open. Catch is made for a first down and more. George Kittle.
George Kittle doing exactly what we thought he would do, being that equalizer for this 49ers offense. You have great corners for the Bears, and then you have this awesome tight end that makes it really hard to cover between the linebackers and the safeties. Brock Purdy does a nice job pump faking and then gets it right over that 6'5" Tremaine Edmonds.
2nd down and 6. Purdy heaves one. It is Guerrero.
And then let's see Isaac Guerrero. He secures it. Oh, it touched a little bit. It did move when it hit the ground, but it looks like he secured it.
27-yard pass play.
Or do you bracket off the zones where Brock Purdy has been killing them?
3rd down and 4. Jennings, 2nd touchdown of the day.
Brock Purdy beautiful throw to Juwan Jennings and the 12 plays, 71 yards. He's just been executing on a very vanilla defense, finding all the holes.
2nd and 4, wide open Kittle inside the 10, the 5, and finally brought down.
Right on cue, right? So there's Kittle, and he's just going to run right over the defense, finding again that hole in the zone. There's nobody there. They're glued looking at the run. Everyone's eyes are on Purdy. Purdy's eyes are on Kittle. Kittle's eyes are on the end zone. I mean, this is just good football for the 49ers.
So the Niners take over at their 38, following the game's first turnover. And now Purdy airing it out. It is caught by Jennings.
And usually when a quarterback rolls out, you never see them throw back across their body. And this was a design play.
Sean Taylor's so many big plays on that route, that quick slant.
Purdy, wide open. Kittle, middle of the field, to the 41-yard line. As productive as ever, 33 yards.
Yeah, this is what hurt the Rams defense early in the year, was just miscues. This time the free safety, Quentin Lake, just late 37 right there, just kind of gets his eyes in the wrong spot. It frees up a big opening over the middle, and that is stealing for Brock Purdy going to his main guy.
And Marino got the memo.
I was the same way when I was coming up. I used to study Marino as well.
There's the pass. It would make Marino proud the way he threw that one. Pearsall with the catch at the 49, gain of 21.
Purdy do a big contract right here. As soon as he hits his back foot, you see all these underneath defenders, you got to throw it over them, but before the 3rd level. And he throws that 2nd level ball so well. And so he's getting his opportunity now.
Here's a first down. Fake handoff up top. Look at Kittle make the catch and rumble down to the 20-yard line.
And as soon as they move up just an inch, their leverage is wrong, and you've got a Kittle who's fantastic at finding that window and keeping himself up the seam.
Christian McCaffrey territory back in the days when he was healthy. 2nd and goal up top. Touchdown. Touchdown it is. Salbert with the catch. His first touchdown of the season.
I want you to watch Riley right here. He's going to come over, and he's got to keep sliding, but the play design was so difficult to see because they switched the release.
Here's Purdy.
Oh, Debo's wide open.
Down the field it goes to Jennings. What a catch.
Look at that.
Scoring margin in the 4th quarter. Hard to believe. Last in the league. And then again, Purdy takes off. Scrambles for the first down.
Rolling left, Purdy throws, caught. Short of the end zone. Pearsall. And then he comes back as he catches it when he has control. It's a question, Russ, of when he had control, because initially it sure looked like he had it while he was still in the end zone.
Yeah, Troy, I agree. It looks like he has control with the ball over the goal line or in the end zone, and then forward progress pushes him back. To me, that's a touchdown.
Challenge flag has been thrown by Kyle Shanahan. That's a good throw by Brock Purdy as well, and that was tight coverage. First down and 5. The ball at the 9. Purdy keeps. Juszczyk gets a block and in for the touchdown. Take a closer look here and see if in fact he did get in, and he sure did. That's a great job by Kyle Juszczyk. Watch Kyle Juszczyk here. All this misdirection is having a huge impact. You see that defensive flow. We've seen it time after time here in this first quarter, now to start the second quarter. And what Kyle Shanahan has done with misdirection and opening these guys up, whether it's in the running game. Fonsu Melifonwu made that hit. His second game back off IR. Here's Purdy. Protected, airs it out, looking for Pearsall's. Got him. Catch made inside the 10. They know they have man coverage here, so they're going to run bodies up. and confused. So they run a natural pick then that freed Pearsall up for the big play down the field.
Now second down and goal. Purdy fakes the throw into the end zone. Touchdown 49ers.
It's pretty good stuff by Brock Purdy, and once again the offensive protection up front, and he's able to kind of get through his read, sees it opens up, and takes off. It's going to be what he continues to do, certainly through the postseason.
Purdy able to get rid of it, airs it out for Guerendo.
Well, Guerendo, he can really run. I mean, this guy's a 4.3 40, so he's faster than Christian McCaffrey. And you see that, he comes up, they think he's going to just hook up, and he just keeps on going, and he finds that hole in the zone. And just a good call by Kyle Shanahan. And, their time is now.
Here is a wide open Pearsall. Spinning down inside the 30.
But the impact that it has on these players with play action, and they hit it, and then everything opens up behind it. And those guys police themselves, and he's right there at the forefront of it all.
Little pop to Debo, touchdown. That'll go down as a touchdown pass.
Those are the kinds we like.
And Debo took care of the rest.
They didn't have this play in the offense when I played. I wish they had him. I'd have had more than 11 touchdowns in a season. But that's a great job by Debo finishing it off, and Guerendo's had a good night.
Purdy lets it fly. Able to complete to Kittle.
Be his best coming off that interception. But Kittle, such a friendly quarterback receiver, and creates a little bit of separation, and Purdy lays it out there just perfectly. I mean, that coverage of Melifonwu was pretty good.
The guy has been phenomenal. He took the 49ers to the Super Bowl last year. Here's a throw to the sideline. There's Pearsall.